Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, welcome back to another video. It is your host, Ordinary Guy. Can't talk long, we got 10 seconds. This is the PS5 technical presentation hosted by Mark Kearney, and it starts in 5 seconds. Here we go. This is about the PS5 Pro. Oh, trailer?
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny.
What's up, Mark?
I'm excited to be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro.
Let's go!
And how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience.
Let's go.
When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed, complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second. PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore.
Yes.
Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds.
Oh yeah.
And data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
Let's go, Miles Morales!
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games.
What game is this?
With audio so real,
Eternal.
you may not even need to see the enemies to
This
know
was a
exactly
game.
where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has
DualSense,
haptics
baby.
that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game. It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences.
Let's go.
Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players. Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive.
Yes.
Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second.
See the difference.
Mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time.
Yes.
Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways.
Okay,
Here's
tell
what
us.
we call the Big 3.
Okay, we
First,
got the big
we
three
made the
now.
GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5.
Sounds like it's better.
And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the Big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro.
Okay.
It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is
Way
only
cleaner.
running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier.
This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's
way
Spider-Man
cleaner.
2,
Way cleaner.
and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars. So overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that extra graphics power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference, allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray trace reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro. Simply put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
Alright, show us the games. Is this what they look like? Or is this the old? Oh no, this is it. This is the look. PS5 Pro Adidas edition. Okay. Nothing too crazy.
Don't let me hang it.
Close your eyes. It'll be worth it.
Okay.
Last of Us Part 2. That game was hard as hell. Ratchet and Clank.
What's with all the neon?
What's with all the neons? Hola. I mean, so pretty much they just made a stronger console that can handle 60 frames per second and 4K, you know, so we can finally get better of the two. But you can still choose between fidelity and performance mode anyway. $700. They are November 7th. That's actually pretty close, but $700? Is that it? They are wildin'. $700 for the same console? I don't know how I feel about that. Didn't even... Thanks for tuning in. Oh, it ended. That's it. What time is it? It was only like 10 minutes. Wow. $700. But it November 7th is what they said, right? $700 We didn't even get like how much terabytes it comes with. It's just $700 available November 7th. I like that it's pretty close. That's only like a week after my birthday. So I'm like, oh, great. But $700. I don't know if it's worth it. I'm not sure. Damn. A lot of people in the chat is saying L. $700 with no disk drive? Oh, it had no disk drive. Wow, $700 with no disk drive. No way. Let me see what the other streamers are talking about. $700.
If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. My God.
What's his reaction to it? Let's see what he says. Dreamcast guy. Let's see what he thinks about the price.
$700 base.
That's crazy.
Oh man. Anyone buying this is adding to the problem of modern gaming. Oh my God. Well,
it's not.
Yeah, I am shocked. Okay.
700
well,
go crazy.
I am going to. Oh my God, that's so expensive.
Yeah, $700 for a console that's been out for 4 years.
Reacting to this,
the heck?
$700 and no disk drive.
No disk drive too, digital only.
I'm flabbergasted.
$700.
Everybody in chat spamming L's.
Yeah, right nobody likes this. I'm sorry. They're gonna do a price drop. Has to.
Okay. Feel free to subscribe. I'm gonna make a video. I wanna sit down and like reorganize some thoughts. But
wow. Oh. That's how I feel. $700. No
right.
disk drive.
I love you guys very much. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. My God.
That is crazy. I wonder who else is watching this and was just like, what the freak? Man, $700. What is my thoughts about that? That's way too expensive. So in my mind, it's like going back in history, we had the PS2 for $300, and then the Slim had came out. I don't remember the price. But let's just do PS4. PS4 came out for $400. Not bad, cool. And then when the Slim came out, they made the PS4 Slim. It was $300. And then I remember when the PS4 Pro came out, they made that $400 again. You know, like whenever it came out a year later after the Slim or something like that. And that makes sense. The same price, but just like, hey, here's a new model of it. No problem. You know? In this case, it's the PS5. So the PS5 came out for $500. And then we have the Slims that are now out for like $450. And then the digital is $400. You know, if you want the digital only, you know, whatever. You know, it's $400. Now the Slim is $450. So in my mind, I'm thinking if the Slim is $450 and we have a Pro, I don't mind the Pro being, especially the Pro PS5 being a little bit more expensive. I was expecting maybe like $550 or $600 max. And this was probably like 1 terabyte, gigabytes with 60 frames per second, 4K. And that's pretty much the gist of it, right? And I was also thinking if they're gonna make it $700, which they did, I thought it would come with a disk drive, and that it would come with like two gigabytes of memory or something of that nature. I don't mind it being base 1 terabyte. That's fine, and then you just buy the extra 2 terabytes for your games, no problem. But for something that also came this late too, like, because for the most part, a console generation is like about 7 years, and we're in 2024 now, so it's been 4 years since this thing came out. So I guess they're probably thinking in the next 3 years you have the Pro, and then at that point, the PS6 will be out in like 3 years, like so 2027, the PS6 will be out or something like that. But it just feels a little disappointing because $700 for just like an upgrade just don't feel like it's. So you want us to charging us $200 more just because you finally made the ray tracing better and 60 frames per second, which I feel like the PS5 should originally already start off with, you know? It just doesn't feel like it's worth the money, and I know a lot of people is already saying else. Now, however, if you don't have a PS5 yet, maybe you have more of an incentive to buy it because you don't have one, and like getting the better console would probably be good. However, at the same time, to save your money, it's just best to get the Slim for 450 and save your money because that's like almost half the damn price, 450 to 700. Not to mention, most people want the disc drive because a lot of people may have disc. Like that's an L for a lot of people because a lot of people have discs that they bought already that own PS5 that wanted to upgrade to the Pro, and essentially the disc drive would make you would cost another $100 to buy separately. So it's kind of like, damn. So the console really costs like $800, and they're really forcing people to do digital only because they get full 100% of the profit when you buy digital only. If you buy from GameStop, they're losing a percentage from having GameStop sell their product. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm a little bit like I was excited because it's coming out November 7th, which is great. That's around a week after my birthday. And I was even thinking about buying it, selling my PS5, putting it towards it, buy it. It would be great. But now it doesn't come with a disk drive. They didn't show two versions of it. So you have to buy the disk drive separately, which is like $80 plus tax, practically $800. And I guarantee it's only gonna come with 1 terabyte of memory. So it's just like, is it worth it? It's probably not. And I hope that we all don't go out there and buy it. Unless you don't have a PS5, I'll give you a pass for buying it. But I hope that you don't go out there and buy it because it should have been like 600, you know? Like that would have been more fair. 600, um, I don't know. 700 is just a lot of money. It's a lot of money, you know? But what is your thoughts? Comment below what you think. Is it worth it? Is it not? I don't know. It's starting to feel like it's not worth it in my opinion. Probably just gonna stick to my PS5 because at the end of the day, the PS5 gets the job done. But it would be nice to have like better, frame rates, ray tracing, better fidelity mode. But if that's all that they upgraded, it's like, what's the point? Especially if they didn't even tell you what gigabytes it come with. That's the other thing. Now, if they said it comes with 2 terabytes, then it's just like, oh, okay, 2 terabytes, $700. That makes more sense. Um, but not to mention no disk drive, go crazy. But anyway, this is my thoughts. Overall, it was still fun to watch. It was just a big disappointment. It's just too expensive. I feel like most people they're gonna still go and buy a PlayStation 5 Slim because spending all that money for the extra stuff is just not worth it. The games still look good how it is. We just wanted an improvement, but too expensive. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.